Hello everyone, today we are making this dress. You're most welcome to our YouTube channel. We are beginning with drafting our back, and we shall start with a neckline. We are going to work with a neckline of 1 inch down, vertical measurements. We are starting with vertical measurement. Then we shall mark our bust line 10 inches. Then we shall mark our waistline 18. That's my waist, that's what I use. Then we are going to get a ruler and make that bust line, yeah. And then we are going to mark our neckline. It is 1 inch down by 4 inches wide. So I will mark it like that, and after I will make my shoulder line, which is 7.5. To get your shoulder line, you measure behind your shoulder and divide by 2. Then I'll also mark 7.5 down and make a line there, a straight line. So after making that line, I'm going to go down by 1 inch to make a shoulder slope. So I always do this whenever I'm making a new cloth, but if you don't know the process, you can check how to make a basic bodice. So we come on our bust line and measure our bust measurement, divide by 4. Then you can add 1 inch for sewing allowance. Then we are going to get the midpoint of our chest line. We get our chest line by dividing the bust measurement by 6 plus 1.5 inch. Then we go in by 0.5 inches. Then we are going to make that armhole. Yes, like that. So in case you have not yet subscribed, dear, you can subscribe. Yes, and in case you subscribed already, hit that notification bell and be notified when we upload a new video. So we go on our waistline and measure waistline, divide by 4 and mark that point plus 1 inch, and we make that line there. So what we are going to do, we are going to also add the 1 inch sewing allowance and then join that line. Yeah, we join the bust line to the waistline. After that, we are going to make the hip measurement. So from my shoulder to my hip, it is 24 inches. So we are going to mark that 24-inch line. So we get our ruler and make that line there. So your waist, you don't follow my measurements, you use your measurements also. I told you when we get our measurements, your hip measurement, you divide it by 4, and after dividing it by 4, you add 1 inch sewing allowance. Yes, so whatever you get, you mark there and you connect to the waistline. So I added the 2 inches. I'll reduce them later, but I need also allowance because I don't put zip on these dresses, so sometimes I put an extra allowance, but still I reduced it a little bit more. So I'm going to curve my curve. So you see that when I was curving, I reduced a little bit on that because I had put 2 inches. Yeah, so I tried to reduce a bit and made that curve, as you can see there. So we cut out our pattern, and that is our back pattern. So we are going to make our front pattern. So we are going to get this back pattern, put a piece of pink and cut it on one side. We are going to trace out on one side only. So we are going to mark where we want that pink fabric to pass. Yeah, so I marked on the armhole and I opened. Then I got my curved ruler I mark that point properly. Then I get my curved ruler. So you shape according to what you want, your desire. How your desire is. If you want it triangular, if you want it the way you want it, you can shape it the way you want it, how big you want it, how small you want it. So mine, I shaped it like that. After shaping it the way you want, you cut it out. But when you're cutting out, you make sure you add maybe 0.5 sewing allowance, maybe 1 sewing allowance inch, 1 inch or 0.5 inch. So that's it, and that is our back pattern. We are going to use that back pattern to make another pattern of paper. So after making that pattern of paper, we are going to place the other part, the pink part we cut, and cut out. So we are going to cut off on our pattern, back pattern paper, we are going to cut off that pink part so that we remain with half pattern. We use the back pattern, take note, we use the back pattern to cut off the front pattern. So we have removed that piece, that pink piece from our pattern. This we are doing the front. After we change the pattern to face this side, so we are going to draw lines. Yes, we are going to draw lines like that. As you can see, you draw them, you slash. We are going to do slash and spread method. You draw lines as you want, how you want them. Yeah. So one thing I know about fashion, you don't need to do exactly what the other person did. You can change something a little bit, play around with things. So you don't need to do exactly as I did. You can splash your way, splash in whichever direction you want. Do what as you want. So we did that, we cut out. Yes, so we cut out like that, and then we are going to go on our fabric and spread. So when I was spreading, I measured 2 inches in between. Yeah. So darling, if you're not yet subscribed, please do subscribe. Yeah, and hit that notification bell. So we spread like that, making 2 inches apart, 2 inches apart, 2 inches apart. We spread like that until when we are finished, those all splits. Yeah. After that, pinning everything, we go ahead and cut out. So you make sure the fabric is so straight so that you don't make messes. Yeah. So when we are also cutting here, we cut with an allowance, maybe of 0.5 to 1 inch according to what you want. Yeah. So what I'm going to do, I'm getting my pins and pinning those dots. Yeah, like that. I pin them down so that I know where each of them passes. So I'm going to remove my pattern and go on the sewing machine. Yeah, so those pins are in place. So that's how it will look, like that. Yeah, so I went on the sewing machine and sewed around it before I put that pink piece of fabric. So we shall go and sew, and that's how it came out. Yeah, so you can see our design on the fabric. So what we are going to do, you are going to get the back piece and come and join it to the front piece. We join with the shoulder line first. I like most times to fix in my sleeve before sewing on the seams. Yeah, so I make the shoulder line first and sew the shoulder line. So we are going on the sleeve part. Yeah, we shall get our sleeve. I'm making sure I already have the sleeve pattern, and in case you don't know how to make the basic sleeve pattern, you can check on this channel. There is how to make a sleeve. So I put my sleeve, I folded, it's on fold, and the fabric also is on fold. So I love trying out different things. So I said, okay, let me try out how this sleeve will come out. I don't know. So I just tried out and said, okay, there is nothing to lose. Yeah, let me try out. I tried it out, and there I was thinking, how should I make it? I was trying to figure it out. Will it come out? And trying different ideas. Yeah. So I was trying. Fashion and design is trying out new things. You don't need to know everything, but on the way you figure it out until I made it to that stage. So when I made it, I tried this one and I failed. I said, what is this? I tried out and it could not do as the other one did. So I had to also try out this one on a different type of sleeve and see. And I was like, no, this one will not work. So yes, I struggled with this sleeve until I had to go down and make measurements. Yeah, I made measurements on the sleeve and said, okay, let's see how I did it at first. Then, yes, I said, okay, this is easier. Yeah. So I also went with measurements on this side and did it with measurements. So having a pattern or knowing how to do something is easy, because when you repeat that same process, it will be easier for you. So I used measurements. I used 4, folded it into half and made something that even if I want to do it now, I can do it again, because now I know how it is done. Yeah. So don't be limited and say, oh, how do they do sleeves? Let me check the sleeve designs. You can start something new, something that is yours. You can do something that is yours. Yes, fashion everything. They did almost everything, but play around with what they did and get something original that is for you. Yeah. So that's how I ended up with that sleeve. Yeah, so I had to measure around to see if it is equal. Then I put it on my dress, and that's how my dress came out, and the sleeve was nice. Yeah, so my dear, if you have not yet subscribed, please do subscribe. That was our model of the day. Yeah, that's how our dress came out. You can try out different things. You can try out that dress in a different style. Yeah, fashion is all about copying. We copy, we change something because people have sold things. Everything has been sewn up to today. So thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Have a nice day. Bye bye.